Yo, 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 what is going on, my beautiful brothers and sisters, fellow radiators of love? My name is Jamal Pope, aka J Phoenix, and this is going to be your daily astrology forecast for Tuesday, March 5th of 2024. Thank you so much for joining me in this video. Hopefully, you guys are having a wonderful start to your week. Let's go ahead and hop into these astrological transits so you can see how you can be better prepared to navigate these celestial energies. But before we do that, of course, I did just drop the March 2024 transit overview video, about 2 hours long, actually. So it actually premiered this morning. So be sure to check that out here on my YouTube channel. I did drop cards for each of the 12 signs, as well as one for the entire collective. Those timestamps are going to be in the description, so be sure to check that. You're not going to want to miss that video. I definitely go. It's just like I said, it's a basic overview, but I do highlight a couple different things and stuff like that. And of course, in the dailies, I actually will go deeper into the day-by-day play. So let's go ahead and hop into these astrological transits. I'm going to go ahead and bring up that transit calendar for you guys. For it being the 5th, we're going to be seeing Mars sextiling the North Node, as well as trining the South Node. Of course, we do have the Moon in Capricorn today. So the Moon, that's going to be making some aspects over to the Taurus energy, making some nice trines. It's going to be making some sextiles over to the Pisces energy, so that's nice. But yeah, so that's the main stuff that we have going on today. Let's go ahead and hopefully you like the calendar. I actually used ChatGPT to make that background. I was like, give me a full moon, and that's what it gave me. I'm like, that looks badass. I like that. So, because of course we got that full moon lunar eclipse, on the 25th. So, in any event, let's go ahead and bring up the chart itself. So, bam, 921. We can see that Mars has already sextiled the North Node. It's still going to be at 16 degrees for the whole day. And of course, it is going to be making a nice little trine over to the South Node. Now, this is, of course, happening while the moon is here in Capricorn. Now, I briefly touched on this in my transit overview, but, Mars with this North Node here, sextiling at 16 degrees. Like I said, we'll feel this throughout the day. And, sextiles, it's like the minor of the major aspects, if you will. It's a 60-degree angle. Usually it's a harmonious aspect. Usually it's talking about opportunities that can present themselves. And I would say with this one right here, Mars is definitely that go get 'em kind of energy. Here in Aquarius is wanting to connect with people too, but definitely really wants to initiate things. And I think Mars definitely wants to be a leader here too, especially being here in Aquarius. Now, the sextile to the North Node will give us an opportunity to, especially considering the fact that the North Node is in Aries where where Mars rules, it's going to give us the opportunity to, become a leader in our own rights, probably just within our own self, and to, kind of go outside. I will say with Mars and Aquarius, the cool thing about it is, taking action and kind of going outside the norm, kind of going outside the box. That's just interesting thing about Mars and Aquarius is that, people may be acting out of character, but really it's just thinking outside the box and acting outside the box, going against the grain, going against the norm, right? And I think the sextile to the North Node here is saying like, be you, be your raw, true, authentic self. There are opportunities that can arise here by being your real, true, authentic self, being raw, going for things, not really caring what everyone thinks, but going for what's truly in your heart. And by going for those things, some opportunities can come up for you to connect with some pretty cool people. I think that's really what it comes down to. Aquarius will help you to, like I said, it will connect you to different groups of people and stuff like that. And this is where the opportunities arise. It's kind of like the whole, who almost seems like it trumps a lot of times, your merits and what you can do and stuff. A lot of times it's about who you know. And I feel like a Mars with the sextile North Node, that's very much so the case. It's like who you know. But at the same time, you still have to take the action. You still have to go for it and still do it. Now, this moon in Capricorn, of course, we're seeing today is going to be making some aspects itself. it's going to be, let me switch this back to hours. It is, of course, going to be sextiling Saturn, and then it's going to sextile the sun later in the day, right? And of course, in between that, it does actually trine Jupiter. So we do get some nice grounding energy with this moon, despite the fact that it doesn't really like to be in Capricorn. It is going to help to kind of ground things out with all of this watery energy, all of this kind of spacey, you know, hallucinogenic almost energy that we have with Pisces. This moon is going to help to kind of ground things out and to kind of help us to balance these things. Now, the nice little trine over to Jupiter, that's pretty cool, right? Because we're getting this nice little, it actually creates like a nice little grand Earth trine briefly between Jupiter and Juno, Juno over here and Virgo. So it's kind of nice. We get like this nice little grounding Earth trine, if you will. Like I said, it's going to be kind of brief. You're not going to really feel it for too long. But I think it is kind of cool how we have Juno here, who is married to Jupiter, married to Zeus, right? And then you have the moon involved over here in Capricorn, right? So, Jupiter, of course, is wanting to expand on things, kind of bring things out, wanting us to see our value and expand upon our value. Juno, though, is retrograde in Virgo. And Juno, like I said, it's in many ways about the commitment, right? And with it being retrograde in Virgo, there could be a recalibration of our commitment with Virgo like things, our day-to-day reality, our health, and this moon in Capricorn is wanting to, of course, emotionally feel like we're kind of moving towards something, or we're establishing ourselves, or establishing a sort of legacy. So I think it's interesting how we do have like this grand Earth trine here, and you can say that we have a very loose kite with, Jupiter making a sextile over to Saturn, but really it's kind of sextiling actually this midpoint between Saturn and the Sun. So it's very, very loose. I wouldn't even say that it's like a major thing today, just because it's not really exact. But because of the nature of the planets involved, Jupiter being a pretty large planet, Saturn being a pretty large planet, and you have the Sun, their orbs of influence are a little bit bigger than, say, like Mercury and stuff like that. Their orbs of influence are a little bit bigger. So generally, anytime that you're within 3 to 4 degrees of it, you're gonna really start to feel the energy, right? I think it's great that we have the moon here in Capricorn, though, to help ground this energy. So I think a day like today, it's going to have some subtle, powerful energy to it. I don't think it's going to be the most obvious, like impactful day, but I think there's a lot of opportunities that can open up to, you know, connect with different people, to network, to really show your stuff, to really put yourself out there. You know what I mean? So I think that's really what today is about. Giving us an opportunity to really show people, what we're capable of, and really, tap more into that creative, euphoric aspect of Pisces, and really see what's truly possible out there. You still, of course, like I said, have a lot of Pisces energy: Saturn, Sun, Mercury, Neptune, still very, very watery. And, we have a lot of water energy. We have a lot of earth energy. We don't have a lot of fire energy. The only fire that we have is Chiron in the North Node. We have no Leo. We have no Sag outside of Pallas Athena. So as far as like major planets, though, it's mostly water and earth with like a hint of air. There's not really a lot of fire right now. So that's the thing about this. It's a very grounding time, anyways. And that little hint of air, it's Aquarius air. So it's air that most people don't necessarily get. It's outside the box. It's different. It's cosmic. It's alien. You know what I'm saying? It's not Gemini. It's not Libra. You know what I'm saying? So that's the thing about this. So we're kind of having to think outside the box a little bit. We're having to, go against the grain a little bit. But I think it's about having the courage to step outside our comfort zones and to trust in ourselves and trust in the process and trust that we do have what it takes to take our lives to the next level. And, I think an energy like this can provide a little bit of imposter syndrome, you know what I'm saying? But I think also at the same time, confidence really does speak. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes you do kind of have to fake it till you make it. But I feel like ultimately with these kind of energies too, it's like confidence itself is a big indicator. You know what I'm saying? And you can always learn things. Just because you feel like you maybe not be qualified for a certain position or to go to a certain stage, having the confidence, and then just like there's always going to be a fair amount of learning on the job. I think it's interesting with jobs too. It's like you have to have all these different qualifications, right, to get a job, but you still have to learn when you get there. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, so long as you have that confidence, and so long as you can, kind of go at it with, what's the word I'm looking for? I'm like losing my words right now. I mean, confidence is the main word that's coming up. So, I mean, I feel like that's like kind of like the buzzword of the day is confidence. It's like, yeah, maybe you don't necessarily feel the most qualified. And I think that's the other thing with the moon and Capricorn here is wondering, do you feel qualified, especially when it's sextile Saturn, or when it sextiles the sun, but it's going to be trining this Jupiter energy. It's going to get close to trining Uranus and Mercury, but it's not going to quite get there today. Well, sextile and Mercury, not trining it. But but I think it's one of those days where it's like, like I said, you can always learn on the job. You can always learn as you go, and we're learning as we go every single day. It's not like you jump into a new situation and you know exactly how to do it. You know what I'm saying? There's always going to be some learning curve. You know what I'm saying? So long as you go at it with, honesty and integrity, and with an apt to learn, with a courage to learn and a confidence to actually like figure those things out, I think you'll be good. I think today could be subtly a pretty positive day, subtly a pretty powerful day, that could provide a good deal of healing. Because whenever I see earth trines like this, especially grand earth trines, I feel like we're kind of walking through a portal. So I feel like today, while it may not be the most biggest, it's not like the biggest, most obvious portal, we are kind of walking through a bit of a portal today. And whenever we do that, it does kind of transport us to like this newest reality. So it's kind of like a little half portal. It may not necessarily rock us off into the future, you know what I'm saying? But it's going to be something that does kind of shift our perspective a little bit and kind of allow us to see things from a fresh lens. So I think today, like I said, subtly pretty powerful day. I think it's going to be, for most people, it'll probably be a little bit more on the chill side. But I think there's going to be some pretty cool nuggets of information hidden in today and tucked in where, if you, so long as you're open to receiving those messages, I think you're going to find today to be pretty fucking dope. Yeah, pretty fucking dope. Let's go ahead and get into the cards. Cards just flew out. I have the Nine of Cups and the Two of Cups. I have the Nine of Cups and the Two of Cups. Yeah, I think it's interesting too, because the Two of Cups in reverse here, I don't think it's necessarily even a bad thing. The Two of Cups always talks about being like emotionally on the same vibration as someone, but the Nine of Cups is talking about an emotional fulfillment. I think that's really what this comes down to is, we have to, I think we really do have to like trust that we got it. You know what I'm saying? And then that Two of Cups in reverse, it's almost like we're projecting our own idea onto this union or this connection with another individual and thinking that something is wrong here. But I think really we need to focus more on this Nine of Cups energy and really see that, it's not going to be, no one is going to really give you the fulfillment that you're looking for. You really do have to give it to yourself. Other people can contribute to your fulfillment, but no one's going to fill your cup up like you're going to fill your cup up. I think really what this comes down to is that you kind of have to gas yourself up, especially because we don't have a lot of fire energy, but at least we have a sextile with Mars and the North Node, which is in Aries, and Mars rules that. Right? So this is about gassing yourself up. And I think when you can gas yourself up, it's just going to make this Two of Cups union even more beautiful. So I think it's about, don't necessarily rely on someone else to give you the emotional fulfillment that you seek. You have to be able to provide that for yourself. But when you do provide that for yourself, when you gas yourself up, when you give yourself, that green light, and you have that confidence to move forward, then it's just going to make the relationship just flourish even more. I do have the Six of Pentacles upright. I do have the Six of Pentacles upright. I think it's interesting how I talk about, like, you know, you got to fill up your own cup and stuff like that, and not wait for someone else to do it. But then they have the Six of Pentacles, which of course is speaking to being able to give to other people. I think was like there's a probably a you know there's probably a tendency, especially for those of you who are very empathic, to kind of give of yourself a lot today. But if you do that, then you kind of risk experiencing more than Two of Cups in reverse, where you feel like they may have more and you don't have as much, and there's a disparity. So I would say, be giving today, but be sure to not over give of yourself today. And remember to fill up your own cup before you assist other people. It's kind of like the whole thing when you're on a plane and they talk about, like, in the case of like an emergency and the mask fall down, you got to put your mask on before assisting the other person. So it's not that you're just completely neglecting other people and don't want to help other people, but you can only help other people to the degree that you help yourself, if you will. So if you're helping all these other people but you're neglecting yourself, you're not going to be as useful as you taking care of yourself and your needs and then assisting the person next to you. I think that's really what this comes down to. Let's get the color card for today. And I'm actually going to shuffle it because a lot of times I just kind of go through and pick a random card. But I do want to shuffle this deck and see what actually comes up here. Let's see what we get for the color card. I have the card of white. Lighten up. Lighten up. Yeah, I think this is a day to not take things so seriously. It's not really a serious day. I mean, yeah, the moon's in Capricorn, but it's making some pretty nice aspects, throughout the day. Sure, it's going to be squaring the Aries energy, but it's still making some pretty nice aspects. Making some nice trines to this Taurus energy. It's making some next sextiles to the Pisces energy. Today is a day that you don't want to take too seriously. So lighten up, be easy on yourself, be easy on other people, and just kind of tap into the subtle power of the day. I think today is going to, like I said, it's going to have like some subtle power that, if we're open to receiving, can really help us. I think we're gonna like find like a tool in our arsenal that's probably always been there, and maybe we just kind of like blow the dust off of it and stuff like that, and realize that this has always been here. And it's like, wow, I've always had this tool here, or this skill here, or this ability to connect here. Let me go ahead and actually utilize this. So I think it's going to be a pretty awesome day from that aspect. But just, lighten up, realize that you can't connect. Remember to fill up your own cup today, but you will still have opportunities to help and give to other people. Just remember to not overexert yourself today, because then you're going to be running an energy deficit. That is going to do it for your daily astrology forecast for this Tuesday, March 5th. I hope that you all enjoyed it. I trust that it will assist you on your journey today. If you did enjoy this, please like, share, and subscribe. I definitely appreciate it. If you'd like to have a personal reading with me, beloved, so you can see how these transits are affecting you personally, you can follow the link in the description below to my website, jphoenix.com. And as always, y'all take care, stay blessed, have a wonderful, wonderful Tuesday. Remember, check out my March astrology overview transit video. That's going to be really good. You definitely want to check that out. And I'll see you all on the next video. Peace.